If you caught the meditation last week, you already know that we are focusing on anxiety and how to regulate ourselves. We, my friend, are living in wild times, and it is coming at us from all directions. So stick with me. Today, we are going to keep it real. We are going to reset our energy, and we are going to step into our power. Hey there, my sister, my friend. Welcome to the Dr. Tanya B podcast with me, Dr. Tanya B. I am here to help you be your best, most authentic self, your life, your way. We're going to talk everything self-care, self-love, mindset, and personal growth with a splash of hippie woo. I am proud of you for giving yourself this time today, so let's not waste time and let's dig in. Today's topic has been raising its ugly head for weeks. It is ramping up all around us, which is causing us to escalate, to struggle, to feel grounded, and to feel centered. And so I feel like it is my absolute duty to bring this to your attention and to help process it so that we can be okay. You know what I'm talking about? Anxiety. Specifically, what's fueling it for so many women right now, and then how do we self-regulate in a way that actually works? So if you have been feeling on edge or overwhelmed, or like your brain is running a 24/7 marathon, which is leaving you utterly exhausted, you are not alone. You, my friend, are not alone. Anxiety is a normal human response, but right now we are looking at this from an entirely different level. So let's talk about why, what is triggering it, and how we get back to center. Sound like a plan? All right, good. So, but before we dig in, over the last couple of weeks, I've been teasing you a little bit with some new developments. You know that I have spent a couple of years trying to decide exactly what does this business look like for me, exactly what do I do, and how do I help people. And more than anything, I think what I have done is just asked the universe the right question, and it delivered to me, which I am super excited about. So I have 2 new offerings, and they feel better to me and in more alignment with anything that I have done in the past. And so I'm really excited to share them. The first one is called Unstoppable. This is a membership-based women's group where we come together in community. I host weekly workshops that include trainings and practices and tools and coaching, all so we can come together for support and connection and growth and transformation. This week, we are starting a gratitude challenge, so you do not want to miss it. This, you know what I have to say about gratitude. It is a game changer. It makes everything different for the good. So join us for this gratitude challenge. So that is number 1. And then let's see, the second offer is one that I've spent a long time avoiding. I'm talking 20 years avoiding. I have been doing it and trying not to do it because I found it to be so intimidating, which is really funny, but it just keeps circling back around, right? So you know that when it keeps coming back around, it is meant to be. So now I am working one-on-one doing mindset coaching with teenagers, most specifically my middle school and high school teens. And so sometimes it is around sports performance, it is around academics. More often, though, it is about social and relationship issues and just how are they navigating the world around them? What are their struggles and how do we help them do this a little bit more successfully? And so I will tell you, I'm enjoying this way more than I expected to. And so you can find both of those on my website, www.drtanyab.com. And then do not hesitate to reach out if you have questions, if there's something that I might be able to help with. All right, back to anxiety. So this isn't new, right? We've been dealing with this at some level for our entire lives. It just seems like right now we are in collective overload. I have no doubt that the center of this stems from our political landscape. No matter which side you are on, there is so much mud being thrown around that it changes the energy, the whole vibration around us. And so we have to find a way that we can rise above that. There are some common triggers that women have been sharing with me. So here are a couple of them. The first one is the pressure to do it all. You are managing careers, families, relationships, side hustle, self-care, and somehow you are keeping it all together. The weight of this constant expectation can feel absolutely soul crushing. I have been there. I have done that. I still struggle with that. You've heard me talk about it. And so that pressure to do it all can just feel absolutely soul crushing. The second one is uncertainty and decision fatigue. So whether this is about financial stress or career shifts or family changes, just trying to figure out what is next, uncertainty keeps our nervous system on high alert. I don't want to talk about this one, but we're going to. So emotional burnout. Many of us are carrying these loads, these emotional loads that are so much heavier than we even realize or give ourselves credit for. So whether you are caregiving, whether you have unresolved trauma, whether you are just trying to be strong for everyone around us, and this is the reason I want to talk about it. So full disclosure, like I have to be honest, right? So this is the thing that has had me in a little bit of a tailspin lately between all of that political stuff that I was talking about earlier, and then the impact that that has directly on my work. Maybe it is about baby Trey leaving for boot camp and the impact of not only what that means for him, which is good and potentially not so good, but also this other thing that's happening, which is Scott and I navigating this empty nester piece and hitting us way differently and much harder than either of us was expecting. And then you add to that these dark, cold days of winter, and I have spent way more time crying than is my norm. So stick with me and I will share with you what I'm doing to turn it around, because I'm not that girl that just sits back and takes this. It has to be turned around. This is what I teach, right? And so I'm not just going to take it. I have to figure out how to deal with it. And I am doing just that. All right. And so then we're going to move on. The next one is the social media spiral, scrolling through everybody else's perfectly curated lives and what they're willing to show us, and then fueling that comparison, that self-doubt, that feeling that we're somehow falling behind or not as good as. Add to that maybe some guilt that is associated with using different platforms and what that means in the political climate that I was talking about. And you just feel like you can't win, or you don't know where to be. You don't know how to find the things that are going to make you happy. And then the last one that I'm going to share is the lack of rest. True rest. Even when we slow down, our minds do not. The guilt, the racing thoughts, the mental to-do list, it all stops us from feeling completely resetted. Resetted? I don't think that's a word, but we are not resetting in the way that we should be. How many of you are waking up exhausted, right? That is your sign that you are not getting that true rest that you need to be getting. And so maybe we need to talk about sleep hygiene too, because that seems to be a thing that's coming up. Maybe we'll do that next week. Anyways, does any of that sound familiar? So if any of that has sort of rung true for you, I want you to take a deep breath. We're about to shift gears and we're going to talk about how do we self-regulate when anxiety rises up and tries to take the wheel. So anxiety, right, is just a way of saying something does not feel right. It is something is off. I am not okay. But instead of letting that sort of ramp up, escalate, or spiral out of control until you snap, because that's where your reaction is and what you want, something that you won't be proud of later. Maybe you say or do something that is not your norm and not what you want for yourself. And so there are a number of ways that we can sort of stop that spiral from happening. I'm going to share them. I'm going to share a couple of them. And what I want you to do is choose what feels right for you. So try them all, or other ones, or combinations of them. There's no wrong way as long as you feel better. All right. So the first one is grounding techniques. So when your thoughts start racing out of control, when you engage your senses, you can pull this back into play. So try this one. This is the 5-4-3-2-1 method. You might have heard of it. So what you do is you name 5 things that you see. So 5 things that you see, 4 things that you touch, 3 things that you hear, 2 things that you smell, and 1 thing that you taste. It's not important that you do them in the right order. If you change up like which one is 5, which one is 4, it doesn't matter. The point is that what you're going to do is pull yourself out of your head so that you stop that spiral and you're going to focus on the present moment. You're going to notice what's going on around you. And then another one is breath work. I know that I talk about breath work a lot, and you know what? It's one of my favorite things to do. It is a great go-to method, and it turns out it's free. You can do it anywhere you want. It's there. It's always available to you, right? And so here's one that you can try. So you inhale for 4, you hold that for 4, and then you exhale for the count of 6. So you inhale for the count of 4, you hold it for the count of 4, and then you exhale for the count of 6. When you repeat that for a few times, you will notice your body immediately start to slow down and relax. That long exhale activates your parasympathetic nervous system, and that is the part of your brain that tells you that you are safe. So that is a great one. And then something else that I always love talking about, but I don't do it a ton here. I feel like maybe we're going to need to dig into this a little bit more too. But it is balancing your chakras, right? So when you chakra clear for emotional balance, everything changes. So anxiety will often show up in different areas, different chakras. Usually it's going to be your solar plexus, which is right about where your ribs come together, right under your heart. That is your self-control, and that is your self-worth. Another one is your heart center, which is right where your heart is. And so that has a lot to do with your emotional overwhelm. And then the throat chakra. This is your suppressed expression. So all 7 of the main chakras are equally important. But I especially notice that women are struggling with the throat chakra. This has to do with control. So we need to have control because we are in charge of managing everything. And then so that is one that's really important. And then the other one that is really important is the ability to speak your truth. I'm not talking about going whole hog and being awful to everyone all of the time, but you have to be able to deliver your feelings in a way that serves you. And is honest to a degree. Like, honest doesn't equal mean, but you have to be able to speak your truth and to be able to put that out there. So no matter which chakra you want to boost, you can breathe into that area. So you just choose that area. If it is your throat, just visualize your throat and then visualize a warm light clearing that space. So that will allow your energy to sort of flow freely again. So just visualize that light, take a breath into it, let it clear and flow. Feel the light kind of come in and through it. If you're watching, you can see my hands. If not, all I'm doing is as you breathe into your throat, you're just letting all of that negative energy and that restriction go on your exhale. I also have a free chakra clearing meditation on my YouTube channel. So I will link that in the notes. Just use it. I think it's 10 or 12 minutes long. You can use it as you go to sleep. You can use it when you wake up. It doesn't matter. So I'll link it in the notes and you can take a look at that. And then the next one is perspective, right? This is the power of reframe. And so anxiety loves to tell you stories. It's going to ask you questions like, what if I fail? What if I'm not good enough? What if I can't handle this? I notice a lot of women, when they are being challenged or pushed to do something new or different, their immediate reaction is like, nope, not capable of that. And so you need to reframe that, right? You need to flip the question. You need to flip the statement, and you need to ask something along the lines of, what if I do succeed? What if this is the breakthrough that I've been waiting for? I don't have any issues doing this. I can figure this out. And so those words that you use matter, and they make all the difference, right? And then the last one is just move your energy. I am not talking about running full marathons. We have talked about this. I am never expecting you to do more than your body can handle, but your anxiety gets stuck in your body. This happens with any negative emotions, anything that traumas and things that you are struggling with. You get to just move that out of there. You can shake it off. Literally, you can shake it off. Pull up the Taylor Swift song if you need to. I'm here for it, because you can dance, you can stretch, you can walk. Any movement that allows that to just sort of loosen itself from wherever it's being held in your body signals to your brain that you are not in danger, and it will help you reset your nervous system. Okay. I think then, most importantly, I want you to give yourself permission to pause. You do not have to push through. You do not have to force yourself to get over it. You do not have to suffer in silence. Your feelings are valid. They do not have to run the show. Does that make sense? Try any or all of those things in any combination. And then if any of this hits home for you, I want to invite you to the women's community that I was talking about earlier that is called Unstoppable. This is where I am bringing us together for support, for connection, for transformation. This is where we are ditching the overwhelm, the disappointment, that feeling of not being enough. I host live weekly workshops that include topics like this, practices and healing modalities. I give you tools, and we are coaching live. We are coaching so that we can ground and we can grow. You do not have to do this alone. We rise together. This is where we move from surviving to thriving. You can join by going to my website, which is www.drtanyab.com/unstoppable. The link is also in the notes. All right, this is what I want you to remember for today. Anxiety does not have to define you. It is just a signal in your body. You have the tools to respond with power and grace. You are capable. You are resilient. You, my friend, are unstoppable. Thank you so much for spending your time with me today. If this episode helped you, I want you to send it to a friend who also needs it. And don't forget to hit subscribe so that you never miss an episode. All right. Have a great day. I love you.